Yeah, he traded for Kyle Orton.
Are y'all tired of these clout chasing, no chemistry having, over the hill gatekeeping radio podcast hosts who just provide no culturally concise commentary?
And Jay Cutler got some for that.
This is Touchdowns and Tangents, your weekly spot for
Especially
NFL
if you
topical
hate Jay Cutler.
and context for the culture. So,
Just
tune
saying,
in,
this might be a Jay Cutler clowning show.
Take a tangent.
I mean,
But
maybe
either way,
smoking Jay
it's
Cutler
touchdown.
memes coming on IG. Thanks to you from Touchdowns and Tangents on Thursday nights.
Shout out to. Why does it feel like I'm not on? Is that supposed to be her?
Yeah, but you're on.
Okay, I thought I was off for some reason. I don't know why.
You just love the sound of your own voice. That's why you do a podcast.
Ironically, no, I don't talk a lot outside
You
here.
bullshit. You don't talk a lot.
I don't talk a lot
I
outside
talk with you
here.
every week here, and like we get like 5 minutes while you go on for like what are we up to? 2 hours an episode now.
Except that one time I got really high and didn't talk for the whole episode.
No,
And it
you
was
still talked. You just a little less.
I talked in spurts, and then I got quiet, and they're like, "Why is Kenny not talking?"
Well, what happens is that you start talking, then you forget what you're talking about, and then you just stop. You're like,
I forget what I'm talking about. 75% through my point. That's when the CTE kicks in, and then like I end up making a funny ass joke at the end. That was the point, and then I'm just like, "Oh, there was nothing after that." Kind of like Jay Cutler's career.
oh God.
Speaking of not much after that, shout out to the service industry. We feel badly for you guys. But this is Touchdowns and Tangents. I think Pete's at a Pisa bar somewhere. He'll be here shortly. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Izzy. She graduated. Last week was her last show. The first 25 minutes was just pure trauma bonding.
She was at the practice today, wasn't she?
I don't know. It was so much happened this past week that it was just like I ended up not being able to make it out to the practice.
You still have plenty of time for all your memes. Well, the thing is, you do them in bulk now. Like you have 5 minutes, so I need at least an average of 4 memes
a week?
No, a fucking day. At least.
Oh yeah, I just be random on my phone.
At least.
I got enough time. This shit was
An
funny.
hour.
Shoot this meme off. Only in the stories. That's if you're in the stories.
Oh God, I'm like tagged all the time now. Like, what the hell is this?
Half the time I don't even be tagging you. This shit just
I think they auto tag me at this point.
yeah, because I was like, Pete's like, I don't ever see anything at Kenny's.
It's kind of there. I go through one and then I see there's like 5 others. I'm like, nah, later.
I'm like, fam, there's only like 3 in there that are funny. The rest I just be like, oh, that was cool. Oh, that was cool. It's like when it comes to memes and me searching for shit on like IG, it's really just, how can I say this? Like a goldfish. I'll just be like looking at something like, oh, that was funny. Share it. That was funny.
Is this like Tinder of memes over here? These are your swipe rights.
Nah, I set a record for Tinder for swiping. Just like, nah. I would just literally like certain buzzwords I would see in a chick's profile, and I'm just like, nope, there's gonna be an argument. Nope.
I think I work at one of the restaurants where a lot of girls' Tinder profiles they take their picture at.
And like, not only they do that, but they always have those certain buzzwords.
And their ass is sticking out. And they're like, is ass out, over the shoulder, and lips puckered.
It's like they're trying to do the thing where Marilyn Monroe got caught under the little wind, not the wind tunnel, but like a storm drain, and wind blew up her dress. That's just
iconic.
Yeah, and now they're all doing the duck face over the shoulder, like slight, like, oh, me? It's like you farted, and you thought it was cute, and you turned and looked at the dude, and you're like, no, that stunk. You're gross.
Yeah.
You fart like a fucking retired high offensive line coach. But shout out to Good News Sports, Good News Radio, X Squad affiliates. Shout out to Mo. Hope that horrific leg injury gets healed quickly. We got to have some X Squad guys back on. It's been a while. But man, just I don't envy leg injuries, and that shit was bad. So salute to Mo. Man, I just want to start things off with the sheer fact that Red Robin's doesn't have Wi-Fi. and their TVs aren't on.
I'll tell you exactly why they do that. They have bottomless fries. They want your
bottomless root beer floats too.
Oh, Jesus!
And bottomless lemonade.
Jesus.
Lemonade slushies.
It's been a while since I've been to a Red Robin.
And we only went today just because it's like, where you want to go eat. I need somewhere where there's ice cream and burgers available, but I don't necessarily want a burger. I really just wanted a root beer float and to be left alone and not judged. So
I feel like people judge you a lot there.
No.
Just sitting in the corner. That guy is definitely being judged. With his Crocs. Are you wearing Crocs?
I'm wearing Crocs.
You are wearing Crocs.
But I wasn't wearing Crocs before. It was always tennis shoes or flip-flops. Rest in peace to my starter slides. People don't know what I went through. Like, at the Good News Station #1, people remember me in the starter slides. Or if not me, definitely the starter slides. But boy, oh boy. Like, Pete was in there just mad because the TVs weren't on. He wanted to watch the punk-ass Clippers. And nobody cares about the Clippers. And then,
I watched that game the other day. That was actually a good game, man.
Yeah,
I mean, they just, it's just PG-13, man. He came back strong at the end, but he couldn't pull it off, but he missed a lot of shots.
Because that's what he does.
That's what he does.
And Pete compared Tracy McGrady to Paul George and almost ended the podcast today.
Ouch.
Behind that, it was almost a fight.
No wonder why he's here. He's gonna be like really mad at you when he gets here, isn't he?
He's probably be drunk when he gets here. It's 8:20. Bro probably passed out at a Pizza bar down the street. I don't know.
He's probably arrested by now. I wonder if he's listening. He's gonna call in again.
Dad arrested.
Right when we
get out the car.
Call.
Piece of shit. He's in the parking lot. He's like, I'm not going in.
He's all, fuck this shit. I'm pissed off.
It's been a week. We could have redshirted this week, but like, it's just weird, man. Like, being in the service industry, we've seen how shitty companies will be to the employees and then work them to the bone and not give them an inch of anything. And I had that at a previous job. That's why I left. I was just like, I'm not going to get paid more money here, so I don't really need to stay here just because, like, I consider a lot of my coworkers damn near like family. Like, this is toxic. I'm going to leave. I just want to go somewhere where I can work and be paid for what I know I could get and what I should get, especially with my experience.
Well, I feel like sometimes, like, my experiences with food and hospitality is that some of these companies do everything they can not to pay you. Yes. I mean, I understand you have labor to manage and everything, but you do everything you can to work these people to the bone for and just basically saying, I want to do it for the least. Make sure you're the least expensive as you possibly can. And
then preach some type of wholesome family values.
Yeah, and then for you to pay us as little as possible to make you the maximum amount of money.
And even if they give you health care, it's like, well, I can't get any days off to actually get my shit taken care of. Or, like, in my case, I had a job, and it's funny because, like, after like 3 days, I was going through training. It was going pretty good. I mean, the training wasn't that great. It's kind of like they just threw me in the fire. And like certain jobs, you can get away with that. But certain jobs, it's like, no, you need to like show me how to do this and expect me not to like be perfect on the first day. Like, I can't work at the speed of someone who's been here 3 months and knows what to do, and it's my first fucking day, and you want me to move and work as fast as someone who at least has been here 3 months. Like,
yeah.
I never expected people I've trained to know exactly what to do, even after I tell them 3 or 4 times in the same shift, because it's like they have a skill and they ought to work. They have a talent. Like, otherwise they wouldn't have been here in most cases. Like, people are talented enough, you get the job. You just need to learn how the job goes until you can get your own, whatever. But, like, when you treat someone like shit the first day out because you think they're not moving fast enough, but it's like they're thinking as they're moving, therefore they're going slower. Like, I can't judge you if you're like, okay, if you're a visual learner, like I'm a visual learner, like I need to see you do some shit Oh, that's how you did it? Okay, let me do it. Like, don't do it for me. I'm never going to learn that way. Like, let me do it. And then the second time, let me do it. And if you see me mess up, correct it.
Yeah.
And then that's how you get better. That's how at least you're supposed to train people. But in a lot of cases, certain jobs, doesn't work out that way. And then, like, this particular job, they called me, like, on the day I was supposed to come in this past week. And they're like, yeah, we'll just come pick up your check. We decided not to continue your training because your schedule didn't fit. And I'm like, my schedule didn't fit?
Really?
Like, no. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, what you said your schedule was going to be and what we saw after the fact. And I was like, okay, that's bullshit. You're going with that reason? Really, it's just like a lot of times jobs, companies, whatever, no matter what line of work you're in, they want your life.
Yeah.
You say, I can't work this day? Okay, then give me the rest of your life. I need you for the rest of that. And I'm just at a place where it's like, no.
Yeah.
You only need me 40 hours out the week. And if I'm closing all weekend, Friday through Sunday, you pretty much have my fucking life.
Yeah.
So Monday through Wednesday, okay, you can have me in the morning for like 6 hours, or I'll arrange some things and you can have me in the morning for 6 hours, or 4 hours Monday, 6 hours Tuesday, like 7 hours, whatever. So
yeah, I mean, if they hire you and then they say, "Oh, it doesn't work out," like with your availability, fuck them. I think you dodged a bullet there, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm like, cool. I got my check, and I was like, for 3 days of work, pretty nice amount of money. Had I stayed on, I would have got like a $2 raise. But it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Sometimes it's not worth it. But I already had a second job lined up anyway, so I just started that job this week, and it's been cool. But I don't know. I'm at a point where it's like, I know I'm going to have to work, but I at least need that shit to line up with my views and, like, my availability. And if I'm comfortable, like, yo, I'll give you these 40 hours a week you need, but I need this time off. Straight up. Okay, that's cool. And if something comes up.
If it's not unreasonable, why not, right?
And if I tell you, yeah, I got a second job. So,
yeah.
That's 80 hours out the week. And whatever the second job is none of your fucking business. Because if you need me for this time, don't ask me for another time.
Well, but, you know, there would be some clauses there, like if you're at the right Twix factory, if you want, and you're trying to get a job at the left Twix factory, then, you know, it'd be like, fuck it.
I feel that.
It could be worse. It could be Jay Cutler.
Yeah. You could be Jay Cutler's chauffeur or butler.
Or ex-wife.
I mean, she froze the accounts on him, so that's some boss shit. So salute to Jay Cutler on that.
Well, speaking of some football people going on, we do talk some football every now and then on this show.
I know, yeah. Shout out to all the the workers out there. We had to, like, seriously, Red Robins is doing their fucking workers a disservice. Because they asked, people's like, can you just turn on the TV? Yeah, it comes down from corporate. So corporate was too cheap to pay the fucking cable bill in a pandemic, so people can watch the goddamn game and not be reminded that they're sitting in a goddamn room, socially distanced, and they can't even watch TV while they're with their loved ones to drown out the fucking crippling sadness of their life.
The TVs were on; they just weren't on.
All the TVs were off, bro.
They're off. Okay. Well, no, some restaurants are still under the ordinance in LA where they have to keep the TVs off for people to get out in 90 minutes. So they're not hanging around in the inside businesses more than.
But they're serving liquor, so I was like, you can serve liquor, you can have TV on. Because if I keep ordering beer,
yeah,
that's the equivalent of you might as well just turn the fucking game on.
Yeah, the restaurants I've been at, like, they've told us that we had to turn the TVs off.
Yeah, I get why, but like that's some weirdo shit.
Yeah.
Ding dong! It's the angry, abusive dad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Fam, why you got the mask on? This man is fucked up. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, huh?
On the air already.
Yeah, fam. It's like 8:30. You think I'm gonna wait for you?
No, don't wait for
The fuck? It was got me in
I
trouble.
was gonna be here at 8:15.
And it's 8:28.
Okay, you knew 8:15 meant 8:30.
In my heart, I knew it did. Because, like, we just got to talk about Red Robins and how, like, they're dogging out.
One of the worst part?
What's the worst part?
Why don't you get on the mic and tell us what the worst part is, Pete?
Come on.
So, no, because
Oh,
no one.
you guys are on the air?
We're on the air right now, you
on the air.
fucking idiot. Dear God, this man is drunk. He's like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
We're about to just start talking some football.
Yeah, like, we're really going to talk football. We're like, nah, let me
I was
get.
gonna say the worst part is I didn't even bring your Gatorade.
I know you didn't bring the Gatorade. Deep down in my heart, I knew you weren't going to bring the Gatorade.
Oh, man.
Even though there's a gas station right next to the Paisa bar. And I'm pretty sure some bars actually will sell you Gatorade or some type of liquid. They got that shit in the back.
Moral of the story is don't miss your own podcast to get drunk at the Paisa bar.
Yeah, don't miss your own podcast to get drunk at a Paisa bar. What did we learn, Pete? Aside,
Clippers are down 13.
yeah, way to go.
They were leading when I went there.
So you're a bad luck charm for all your teams, and Paul George is definitely not in the same
Hey, how come I
class
don't have one of these?
because you didn't. I capitalized, got all the free shit from the Senior Bowl when I was there, and you chose not to take any of the pins and pencils because you didn't want to seem desperate. I'm like, no, it's there for a reason. If I go to
I
like,
always get free shit. I just didn't get that for whatever reason.
yeah, I got like 3 of these at the house, but this one's mine, so you can't have it.
Can you
But-
not step on my headphones?
I'm not even on your. This man is a
Can
mess.
you unmute my mic?
No, you
Your mic's not even muted.
Test. It's not on.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It just sounds different. It is. Talk.
Test. It's not on.
Yeah, look. It's
Look at the screen.
Oh.
you're
just smacking
definitely
my mic?
My
you're
headphones
just-
aren't on then.
This man is waste. What is wrong with you?
Alright. Disregard me.
You're more fucked up than the Atlanta Falcons only getting a second round pick and then giving up, I think, a third or a fourth for Julio Jones.
Alright, continue. Sorry. Forgive my
So
unprofessional.
you know you got to talk into the mic, right?
Hey, we got a TV in here now?
Are you serious? Are you high, bro?
What is
That's
that?
always been that monitor's always been in there.
What
It's
is
been-
that?
They just moved the
Yes.
they
That's
moved the computer over there.
over there instead of right here.
It's nice. It's a very nice setup. Shout out to Keith.
That's a new computer then, because the computer wasn't that big.
No, it's always been right here. But it's
Yeah,
not there
it
anymore.
was underneath the table.
Mini?
This man is. This is hilarious.
I guess it was that big. I thought it was a mini.
That's what she said.
It's upgrades, bro.
I thought it was a mini.
That's what. I was gonna make a grower. not
That's a cute
shower
little
grower.
cart, though. I wish I had that little cart.
This little robot just starts coming up, eats beers. Like, hey.
All right. So sorry. Forgive my interruption.
Dear God.
Well, we were just starting with talking about Julio Jones and how the Titans. What do you think?
It's still Ryan Tannehill.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you got Julio Jones. That's cool. I don't trust the defense.
Okay, let me ask you this, and while we've been talking about it, would you rather have Tannehill or Jay Cutler?
Let me just put
Jay
it to you
Cutler's
this
gonna
way.
get Julio the ball.
Let me put it to you this way.
Jay Cutler will throw you 100 passes. A season.
Well, let me put it to you this way. The difference between the Titans being like a contender and a wild card team really just comes down to something they don't even control. The future of Deshaun Watson. Because even as bad as the Texans might be, they might still pull out a win or two versus the Titans and the rest of the division. So
That's a very cannibalistic division, AFC South. And let's say Watson somehow gets cleared and says, fuck it, I'll play this one last season for you guys. Because
that might be his only option, considering the off the field stuff. But even beyond that, I mean, I think the Jaguars can't get much worse, and the
Lawrence is good.
the Colts should be at least the same, if not a little bit better, with Wentz. So that division is pretty much wide open. It should be the Titans, but as you mentioned, the defense, and also we can't act like Julio hasn't been hurt 2 of the last 4 years.
You're not going to disrespect Julio Jones.
He's been hurt.
Okay, he's the number. He's
been hurt though.
He's still a top 10 receiver.
He's still been hurt.
He was a top 10 receiver when he's healthy.
He's still been hurt.
When he played hurt,
and
he was a top 10 receiver.
Other news flash for Julio Jones is,
Don't say Derek Carr.
I don't know how many touchdowns he's going to be getting in Tennessee because they already had red zone issues. And guess what? They have Derrick Henry to hand it off to.
But they also have Julio Jones, who dominates in the red zone when he gets the ball.
Yeah, he still doesn't get the ball.
Because Matt Ryan only throws it deep to him and doesn't throw it to him in the end zone. Like, Atlanta was always trying to do goal line stuff when they didn't have goal line backs. When they
it's like saying I dominate this podcast when I show up 30 minutes late drunk. Like, yeah, you might, but still, you're still like missed a quarter of the fucking podcast, bro. Like,
your breath smells like shitty beer. It smells like shitty Bud Light.
That's Julio Jones. Like, yeah, you're right. He might be a top 10 receiver, but he's probably also going to miss 2 to 4 games.
You never know. That offense, A.J. Brown is the deep threat and, like, the go-to guy there. Julio's still going to command attention. And they have tight ends.
I'm not saying he's washed. All I'm saying is...
Sounds like you're saying he's washed.
I never said he was washed. I think it's a good move for the Titans. They needed to do something because we were all kind of looking at that offense like,
lost Corey Brown.
You guys just lost Corey Davis and didn't really do anything else. So I think that move at the very least, negates...
And they lost Jonnu Smith.
At the very least, negates the loss of Davis. If not, improves the position. But still, there were still arguments out there that the Titans weren't a championship team just because their defense is so up and down.
Their defense is
looks good one week, next week it doesn't.
Their defense is flimsier than a hot, moist towelette.
Asked Pat Mahomes a year and a half ago, and he was down 21-0 and shitted on that like it was nothing.
You gotta stop Patrick no matter what.
I've seen hot spoons have more trouble with ice cream than Pat Mahomes had with that Titans defense.
Wow.
And that was 2 years ago.
That was an excellent analogy.
Wow, now I heard something in my headphones the first time.
Happy now? Damn, bro.
There we go. Well, looks like our headphones are mixed up. But whatever. I'm not station manager. Not my problem.
This guy. Are you okay, bro? Jesus.
I'm just waiting for my computer to restart. I ain't got no phone.
No rundown.
Clippers losing.
He definitely didn't look.
I can't even put my fucking game on because my computer's restarting.
It's a rough time. Tell us how you lost your phone. Let's talk about it.
You lost your phone?
I didn't tell you?
No.
No.
You didn't think it was weird? I hit you up on IG randomly on a Thursday?
You tend to hit me up on IG when you contact me. You sent me Zoom meetings via Instagram.
Okay.
I always thought that was weird.
Okay, but that was a group message. That was a group message.
We have a group. We had a group chat. We still do have a group chat.
You didn't think it was weird that I just all of a sudden DM'd you on IG? Like, hey,
yeah, when you DM'd me, I was like, what?
I just figured that's your primary form of
DM
contact.
you randomly.
You never really you never DM me like that though. That's why I was like, oh shit.
I did think it was strange. I was like, he can call me if he wants, you know.
Anyways, so basically, I was minding my own business.
Of course he wasn't.
That's how you know when somebody's full of shit.
At the Paisa bar.
That's minding my own business. I'm the innocent. I'm the victim here.
But yeah, so I was minding my own business. I went on the West Coast Riders Ride at Six Flags. Shout out to that ride. And
you went to Six Flags Magic Mountain in a pandemic. Okay.
The pandemic's almost over, 1. And 2, I'm vaccinated. And 3, you live life unvaccinated, so shut the fuck up.
I've never had COVID.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Which means you're even more prone to get COVID.
But you didn't have COVID.
Bro,
either.
even Donald J. Trump said at the beginning, at one point, all of us are going to have COVID.
I probably already did.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like,
But maybe you didn't. You didn't have the Delta strand.
why? I don't fucking take Delta flights. Why would I want to have it?
Exactly. You don't even know what the Delta strand is. You ain't ready for that.
What is it? What is it?
That India.
It's QAnon.
It's that. It's
Just
some
saying.
shit. It's some shit that the neoliberals and Hillary Clinton and the Illuminati put together.
Bro, I hate
And,
Hillary Clinton. What is
they
the
put
point
it
of telling me
together.
this?
What it was a blood-sucking child bukkake.
You're gonna get this podcast canceled.
And then a leech got that bukkake and then created this
Stop.
new virus,
Stop.
and now it's tracking
I'm gonna
you
throw up.
every time you talk.
I'm gonna throw up, bro. This motherfucker's-
Every time you say black man in America, the virus sends a signal to Joe Biden.
And it,
I thought you were gonna say Joe
and it
Biden.
sends you DMs via Snapchat.
That's nasty.
It's like
nasty, wow.
and then it sends you like a video from The Ring. Like if you watch it in 13 days, you're gonna
30%
die.
30% of that has already happened to me. Y'all are fucking wild, bro. I was like 3 of those things you said have already happened. But like,
So just
not
get
the bukkake
vaccinated,
part.
right? If you don't get vaccinated, pretty
But if I
soon
get
it's going to be a
vaccinated-
virus bukkake on your face, man.
Bro.
All right, just
But
get
if I get vaccinated
vaccinated,
and
all
die, I'm
right?
coming back to haunt all of you.
Okay.
I'm coming back to haunt all of you.
My
Like,
people are getting assassinated by the people who are trying to protect us, but I'm afraid of a vaccination. So
yeah.
America.
What the fuck? Yeah, I should totally trust the government that like tried to kill black people. And
it's
never
not
really
the
stopped trying to kill
government.
them. They're the ones.
It's not the government.
Word.
It's the pharmaceutical people who are making $1 million off
That
of
work
keeping
with the
you
government?
safe. Off of keeping
That
you
work
safe
with
from
the government?
COVID that are making the solution.
I don't trust the government or pharmaceutical
It's not the
companies.
government.
I said I don't trust either.
Yeah,
So
but the
it's like-
pharmaceuticals are making money from the government, so it's all good.
And-
Everyone's making money.
Yeah, everyone's making money, but people are still dying. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's say,
But not
let's-
vaccinated.
let's-
Vaccinated people are not dying. That is not a fact.
I never
Vaccinated
said
people
that.
are not
I never
dying.
said that. I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable getting a vaccination, but I guess I'm gonna have to one way or another.
But why?
Yeah.
That's the
And
end
you
of
know
it.
who didn't say that? People who were dying of polio and measles and a bunch of other shit that you've already got vaccinated for.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, fuck it, we're all gonna die something. But now I'm just like, okay, like where do I want to go? Because I don't want to
Just
go to
don't
like
die of COVID.
that too. But
Yeah. Like, what are you going to be more mad at? Oh, I died from a conspiracy theory because of a vaccination, or I
don't
died
know
of
what-
some shit that only had a 1% chance of killing me and had the same symptoms of a cold. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay, let's make one thing
I don't
clear.
know. I'd rather die of the cold. Give me the gold.
This nigga said the
Steve, cold for 100.
Who's
Bro,
Steve?
Steve.
Stevia? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are the most dumbest reasons America are afraid to die of that won't actually happen?
I think you confused
Steve, give me a cold for 100.
You confused Jeopardy and Family Feud. You just combined Jeopardy
That was
and Family
number
Feud.
one.
He really combined, like, Jeopardy and Family Feud together.
Hey, the good news
And
should
then
have a podcast feud, bro. Like Family Feud with all the podcasts.
We wouldn't get invited, though.
I'm putting that idea out there right
We wouldn't
now.
get invited. They'd have it at, like, 6 in the morning.
Oh, shit.
Am I wrong? 6 in the morning. Hey, we know you guys can be up. Like, no, the 5 shit to do. I have a life. No, let's do Let's do it at 4:20 in the morning.
Is my drug seeping into you? Is this reverse osmosis right now?
No, it's like the root beer float I had. It cleansed me out on my yeah. Bottom line is, yeah, they'll probably have like Stop moving
Bottom
the
line
mic.
is, don't have your co-host show up a half hour late because you're going to waste a half hour stalling. And then when he gets here, you're going to have another half hour of just nonsense.
Shit talking. Further, we should really do like just a Good News Jeopardy at like 2 in the morning.
Well, this is kind of one of the topics we were supposed to talk about. I mean, the NFL is even having COVID vaccine hesitancy problems as well. I mean, so what's going on? Like some of these players.
The coaches have till the end of the week to get vaccinated, or you can just work from your fucking office all season. Like, you'll be removed from tier 1, like dead ass. It's not a choice for you. You have to be vaccinated if you're around these players. The players, we want them to get vaccinated, but we can't force them. Kind of like the American people. We want you to get vaccinated, but we can make it very uncomfortable for you.
Well, it's probably because it's probably in the players' union that the NFL can't make them do something like that.
Yeah, but they also can't make them sign a good fucking collective bargain agreement. So that's the players' union for you. Shout out to NFL Players Union. You guys have the worst fucking union.
Well, it's
other than like restaurant workers, you have the worst fucking union.
There is no union for restaurant workers.
Isn't it for cooks?
In Vegas there is.
Yeah,
but that's Vegas.
Because Vegas.
Well, there's other states, but not California for sure.
And shout out to Vegas for being founded by the mafia.
Right, but no, I mean, like, think about it. Like, a lot of these players last year took the year off to.
They probably all didn't get vaccinated.
Well, you look at that, a giveaway just for vaccinated people.
One dude
from
got
Kaiser.
like $50,000. I was like, bro, I wouldn't even want my name out there if I'm winning $50K.
I'll take 50K.
Because if I'm not vaccinated, I would just rob that motherfucker and threaten him with by coughing on him.
It's okay, probably do that vaccinated anyway.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't get people who win lotteries and want to be publicly known.
No.
Fuck, I'm disappearing. I'm going to go back to work like nothing happened.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to go back to work like nothing happened.
It depends how much I win. I got to win at least $100 million.
I hear I hear those big ones that like people don't like let up often. They always ask you for money for charity. They're always asking for this. You're just getting hounded and hounded and hounded by the solicitors and everything.
Because like
you got all this money. What are you going to do with it?
That's when I change all my phone numbers and go.
I mean, if you won $10 million, that's like
I'm still not donating.
$6 million after taxes.
5.
Like that. Like, you could fuck off $1 million in a year. So that's like 5 years.
Let's say
like,
you buy a house. That's
like
$1 million.
5 years of being comfortable. Now, if I won 100, now that's 60 million. So it's like 10 years. Like, okay,
yeah,
I can afford to fuck off an extra 2 years. Like, okay, I'm fuck that off in 8 years.
But you have to live a normal life, pretty much, and occasionally splurge. And if you want to put your monies in CDs and all types of other shit, that's even more tax issues.
But what I'm saying is, like, to some people who've never had money, like, yeah,
$50K is shit.
$4 million seems like a lot, and it is. But like, you can easily fuck that up.
$2 million after tax.
$4 million is not what it used to be.
Yeah, you can easily fuck that off.
Inflation is a piece of shit now.
You can easily fuck that off.
Fuck around and put like $100K into the stock market, watch that shit die. Then you're like, oh.
And
well, then
where's your next $100 million come from? 100,000.
Then you shouldn't be investing. What I would be more afraid of is
blockchain, Coinbase.
No, what I'd be more afraid of is spending that shit in a bar or a strip club.
Really?
Or the cannabis club.
I would just be buying land and companies.
I would have a night.
I would just be. I'd be buying some. I'd be like,
there'd be
Kenny,
one night.
You fucking lying, bro. Because you broke now, you be having nights.
It's like
hey, you broke now, you be having nights, bro. Like,
hey man, you gotta find.
You be having like when you're a millionaire, your nights turn into weeks. Like, oh shit, I was supposed to come back from Ibiza on Tuesday, but I just stayed a month. Like. Okay, I'm a millionaire. I ain't got a job. Yeah.
People gotta act like a million. Like, you realize to stay a millionaire, you have to like keep making $1 million. You don't just get $4 million and be like, "Oh, I'm a millionaire." You can lose that in 3 days.
That's what we're saying.
But I'm like, from people who win 50, the dude who won $50K for the COVID vaccination lottery, like that ain't shit. There's some people whose college debts are $50K. That's nothing, and you're not even getting the full $50K, bro.
I got a new car. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but still,
that's the expense. That's not something
but even in that scenario, bro, like that's still an extra $500 to $300 in your pocket. Like, that's something.
$50,000 going to change your life.
That's another room on your apartment.
$50,000 going to change your life right now.
That's another hour at the strip club. You know?
What kind of strip? That might be a whole different strip club. That might be like an entrance.
That's just a fun hour at the strip club, bro.
Realistically, that's like a fun 3 hours with two different girls.
Generous hour.
Woo! Hey, let's just go to the extended stay.
It's a good thing I know my wife doesn't listen to this show. So, and Natalie, if you start listening tonight, I am very sorry. I am sorry.
Yeah, one time she got at us in the IG comments, I was like, I don't want no smoke with Miss Jimenez. I don't want no fucking problems.
Yeah, dude, watch out. She might be English, but that accent comes out when she's angry. Like,
I don't want to get cussed out by a British woman.
No, it's actually really sexy though.
But, like, not when you're on the receiving end of it and, like, she's not your wife.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, shit, I feel like I'm getting chastised. I feel like I need to write a letter to my mom and apologize for something I did and never told her about. When other people's, like, girlfriends or wives, like, cuss you out, it's, like, an uncomfortable experience. It's like...
Oh, seriously, man. There's one of my old coworkers, like this surfer dude that's grown up out here. He took me out to teach me how to surf, and, like, his wife at the time was, like, sizing me up. She's like, so where are you going? What are you guys doing? I'm like, well, I got a surfboard, and I'm in a wetsuit. I was invited to go surfing. Is that still happening? Like,
can I go do this?
Like, what's going on? Like, and I went to my friend. I'm like, you guys have marital problems? He's like, yeah.
Just want to see if you were the shitty friend.
Oh, dude,
you're the friend getting him in trouble.
I had no idea what I was walking into.
Shit is scary, man.
Eric's like, Eric's like, I have no problem being the shitty friend, but at least set me up. At least let me know.
Let me know what I'm getting into.
Right?
I don't want this pain, bro.
Like, you ain't gonna lie to me and say we're going surfing. Like,
it's like, you have a bag around the corner, right? Press shirt.
All right, well, I'm looking at the rundown right now.
All right, gamblers also want to know, like, who if players are going to... That's the second part to it. Gamblers want to know, like, which players are going to get, the vaccine, because it's like, well, shit, if this motherfucker's going to be out again for COVID, I'm not taking him on my fantasy team, or I'm not going to gamble on this team this week because this dude isn't playing because he didn't get vaccinated, or he got sick, or somebody he knows got vaccinated, so he has to sit out because of the COVID... what's that shit called? The tracking thing, where it's like,
the contact tracing.
Yeah, contact tracing. You have to sit out for a week, even if it wasn't you, but you're close to somebody, and that whole shit starts all over again.
Yeah, I think that's the trouble of it. Is like, okay, someone has flu-like symptoms. All of a sudden, like, that takes on a different meaning. Whereas before, people like Jordan playing through it, having these famous flu games. It's like,
did Jordan have COVID before?
Nah, now you can't do that. Like, if you're sick, you have those flu-like symptoms, you're supposed to sit out. And that can be the difference in those 3, 5, 7 point spreads. Like losing a all-star, having him sit out because of a cough.
And you need a playoff game. Robitussin and Mucinex.
And that's going to happen if somebody doesn't have the vaccine versus somebody who does. It's going to be like, okay, well, you're vaccinated, so it's probably not that. And, show goes on. Versus if you're not, it's like, oh, well, we don't know. So, I mean, I understand it. It's just, I think at some point, the NFL has to take a stance on it. It's like, on one hand, they want to act like, oh, they're past COVID. COVID's over. We're planning OTAs. We're planning full packed stadiums. I know Lambeau Field just said they're going to have full capacity. Like, oh, yeah. You can't be on both sides of the coin. You can't just be like, oh, COVID doesn't exist, but yeah, we have COVID protocols.
But the NFL and college football did that the whole time. They were on both sides of the issue.
Not really, though.
College football definitely was on both sides of the issue.
They were, like, internally, but, like, publicly, they were still doing the protocols and what they had to do. Moving forward with things in a much better like number-wise, compared to last year, it's going to be much more up to them and much more up to their counties and cities and stuff like that. So it's going to be even more of a case-by-case basis on this next year. And therefore, like, it like, I get it, but it's also kind of fucked up because it's like, you know, you want to move on from it, but you can't. So you got to make a policy to sort of make the ground even. Because even like right now with the NBA playoffs, it's like as much as I'll say, hey, the Lakers won the asterisk championship or whatever, like the thing is,
the Clippers still don't have
one. The thing
one.
is, like, that was all the same. Like, everybody was playing in the bubble. So, like, yeah, it's not the same in comparison to the other years. But, like, in regards to the rest of the competition that was playing that year, everyone was playing in the bubble. Everyone was playing away from their family. Everyone was the lowest common denominator was happening. The NFL, on the other hand, is like Buffalo had fans, the Chiefs had fans, like the Rams didn't. Like
the Rams and the Raiders and brand new stadiums didn't.
Yeah, so it's like that's not equal. And if that's going to be the case going forward with these players, some of them being vaccinated, some of them not being vaccinated, some players, some coaches going to have to go through different protocols than others. It's just going to be all over the place. So the NFL really just needs to fucking do their job, make a policy, all you guys got to get vaccinated, or even if not, you still got to have a policy of what to do with all those people who aren't vaccinated. Because it can't just be as simple as like, oh, you got to follow the protocol of last year, because last year was different than this year. Last year, everyone had COVID. Everyone was getting COVID. This year, like, yeah, it's still going to be something to think about and worry about, but it's not going to be the same scale. So, NFL got to figure it out. That's why they get paid the bucks.
But, I mean, if the best player on your team doesn't want to get vaccinated, you can't just not. You can't be like, well, you can't play.
I mean, yeah, you can, but you can.
Okay, let's say Tom Brady comes out and says, I don't want to be vaccinated.
I think Tom Brady's smarter to do that because there's so many people riding on his shoulders.
And he's literally a known Trump supporter.
What does that mean?
Yeah, but Tom Brady does things to keep his... Like, he has the fountain of youth, for crying out loud. He wants to be healthy. I'm pretty sure that guy wants to have healthy people around him.
And what if he thinks the vaccine ain't healthy? It only takes 10% of a population to change the tide.
I know, you could read a book about it, how it's not.
But I'm saying, this dude can go full contrarian. And what is everybody going to say? It's Tom Brady. People will back Tom Brady. It's proven. People will stand behind Tom Brady on practically almost anything that he chooses to do.
Well, the funny thing is, Tom Brady's already been vaccinated since November. So,
see? Everybody, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, like, if it wasn't
his
Tom
parents
Brady,
had COVID.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's somebody else, and there's people around the league who don't feel like they need to be vaccinated and are good to great players, like, where does that line come down on in the organization? How much of a schism does that cause? Because people are going to say, you don't have the right to tell me to get a vaccination if I don't need it.
And you don't have the right to play in the league. Go play in the XFL. Go play in whatever league is starting up.
But they could sue and they would probably win on some grounds.
You're not going to win.
I said some grounds. I didn't say...
You're not going to win off that.
Well, yeah, publicly no. But, like, if they go into court like, yo...
You're not going to go into court.
Can't make me take a vaccination. Bro, people will do that. Some of these NFL players came from money. They will have no problem saying, fuck you, I'll take this to court. We saw it with Deflategate.
It doesn't matter, bro. Exactly. Nothing happened from that.
It's just a bunch of time and money wasted.
That's what I'm telling you. Is like even in that scenario, if that fucking happened, nothing would happen from it. Because guess what? The NFL is not a fucking government entity. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, you could work at the pleasure. It's a privilege working at.
It's a privilege. Any private company can say whatever the fuck they want for you to work there. If they want to say you get vaccinated, you get vaccinated. Period. The problem is they don't want to do that because they don't want to piss off the union and have to go through arguments with them. But that's the thing is, that's still going to be on the union because it's going to be.
The union says, "Fuck it, we'll nuke this shit if you make."
But that's not going to happen because
I don't think the union has to be unanimous on that. And I think there's a lot of players.
Exactly, there's going to be a 60-40, 50-50. You couldn't even get players to fucking agree on sitting out to get a 50-50 revenue split. You think you're going to get them to fucking sue over a vaccine? No. What's going to happen is the best players are going to be like, hey, get vaccinated. And the sorry ass players are going to be like, I saw a post on IG that was like, hey, the government's tracking me. I'm not getting vaccinated. And guess what? Those players are going to be playing the CFL. Bro. And honestly, they're probably not even going to play in the CFL because the CFL is in Canada and they'll actually take a chance to say, hey, you got to get vaccinated.
Canada actually has better health care.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, let's not act like when this happens and people come up out the woodwork saying they're not going to get vaccinated, that, like, we don't see that shit coming. Like, somebody's going to stand up and be that person. Like, fuck this, I don't want to do it. And then they're going to be made an example out of.
Yeah, and LeBron's already tried to do that. LeBron's already got dragged for it.
LeBron's like, I'm going to do what's best for me and my family.
And
Sam Darnold said the same thing, like, I'm going to do some research.
And they were saying, hey, okay, LeBron, 3 months ago when you were in the bubble, you were telling people to get vaccinated. So
LeBron got handlers.
Doesn't really make sense.
LeBron got handlers.
Don't make sense.
Nike.
Don't make sense.
Nike got a
How are you going to tell people get vaccinated and then 3 months later you're going to say, I'm going to do research and no.
3 words, Nike lifetime contract. That's why. There's like clauses in these contracts. Like, once you sign with all this money with these corporations, bro, they practically own you. So he got a lifetime contract. He got to say whatever is politically correct, even if he might disagree with it. And if he talks too much, then it's his own ass. That's why, like, when the China thing came out, he had to backtrack from a lot of stuff. And now when it came to the vaccine, it's a private situation. I'm going to work out with my family. Sam Darnold was like...
But that's not what he came out and said first.
Exactly. That's my point. So probably what he came out and said was some shit that he was probably being told to say by his handlers. And that's what happens when you let somebody speak for you. At least...
No,
I'll give you a perfect example.
No, you're missing
Charles
the
Barkley's
point.
an asshole.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
You're wrong.
Yeah,
point. You are. No, you're not. You're not making the point.
All right, fine.
Because at the end of the day,
tell me I'm wrong.
Because at the end of the day, guess what?
What?
LeBron doesn't have to take the money from Nike.
Are you fucking dumb, bro? He's the face of the NBA.
He doesn't need to take the money from Nike. Exactly. And that's exactly why he doesn't need to take money from the NBA.
Hey.
He could go. Eric. He could go fucking Ball Brothers.
Eric. And how did that work out? The NBA fucking hijacked LeVar Ball's idea, and the shoe deal didn't work out. So, Eric, let's say you being offered
it did not work out for any other reason than bad management. That's the only reason why Big Dog Brand didn't work out.
XFL and all those other leagues, right?
No, the XFL didn't have bad management. The XFL was a bad product, and you need to just accept it. Like, you need to just get over it.
Minor league football leagues.
I'm not talking about the XFL.
Minor league football.
I'm not talking about the XFL.
Okay,
for a solid year.
That's fine. But I'm talking about minor league.
Eric, you can quote me on this. I'm not talking about the XFL for
minor league leagues in general don't work, right?
No,
not on a public level. Not.
Baseball is the only place it really works because that's actually a farm system.
But well, I mean, you could
NBA.
Say, no. You could say that about international soccer as well, and that's actually a lot bigger than NFL. It's better and it's more developed and it's more global.
And there's like drug money in soccer.
Well, that's also mafioso stuff, but the thing is though, you're not going to have a contact sport like football being developed like these guys because their bodies aren't going to last, especially with CTE. And nevertheless,
and the equipment is much more expensive. But it's not just a ball and whatever you can fucking shoot it in.
Yeah,
and then nevertheless, these teams are big. You know, in the pros, they're the smallest, and they're 53 players.
Okay, let's go back to the LeBron thing when he said he didn't have to take the money. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't have to take the money either. He's a spokesperson for stuff. Guess what? If you take the money, you kind of got to do whoever the fuck is paying you says. If you don't take the money, somebody else will.
If you take
That's
the money.
what you're forgetting. Somebody else will. Somebody will always take the money. Yeah. Somebody will always take the money.
Okay, yes, but that's also a fucking traumatic way of thinking things because the other side of it. No, there's
always somebody there to take a bag of money.
The difference is, yes, it's a fact, but the way you're looking at it is problematic and wrong, and that's
I didn't create that though.
Exactly, who did? That's slave thinking. That's thinking I gotta take whatever is given to me. But the truth is, the reality is,
LeBron's 18 years in. It's kind of late for
somebody else is going to take the money, but guess what?
It don't have to be you.
But guess what? Not just that, but guess what? Those kids are still going to buy those shoes.
Yeah.
Whether they have the Nike swoosh on them or not, they're still going to buy those shoes.
Did he say the Nike swoosh?
Swoosh.
He said squish. He said squish.
He said swish. But that's what I'm saying is like, even if they were under LeBron's own brand name, Clutch shoes, whatever you want to fucking call it. Spring Hill shoes.
I mean,
whatever you want to call them.
Unless you call them Shaqs.
Cleveland shoes, whatever you want to call them. People are still going to buy them.
I'm never buying anything with Cleveland.
People are still going to buy them.
LeBron don't make great shoes.
And
can we be honest?
And the result is always this. Whatever you're making for somebody else, you can always make more for yourself. Period.
That's true.
And the overhead from Nike, the franchising price from Nike, whatever LeBron is getting, that $1 billion contract he got,
Nike's getting way more.
That's only a tenth.
It's like Chappelle said, you would offer me this much, but you're making that much off Chappelle's show?
It's only a tenth.
That's my point, and it goes back to, y'all talking about private industries and all that. Okay, somebody's going to come out the same way everybody's saying, hey, get vaccinated. There's going to be a percentage. It's human nature where somebody else is going to come out and say, nah, I'm not getting vaccinated. I don't want to get vaccinated. You shouldn't get vaccinated. I'm going to put money behind why you shouldn't. I'm going to incentivize players. Somebody's going to get money, I'm telling you.
You're missing the whole point, though.
I'm not missing the point. I understand what you're saying.
No, that in itself is a privilege.
Okay.
Right? Because there's people in India who are dying. Rich-ass people.
What the fuck India got to do with any of this? Rich-ass people.
India is the biggest fucking most populated place in the fucking world. What do you mean? That is everything.
Africa. It's actually Africa, but okay.
No, India is more populated than fucking
per capita?
Africa.
All right, fine, per capita. Africa's a bigger landmass, but okay.
Okay.
But I get you.
No, there's just simply more people
in India. Plus there's tigers and shit. I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with Bengal tigers. I couldn't do it. I couldn't live in India.
Leopards.
Anyways.
There's tigers too, right?
Anyways.
It's like mass tiger attacks.
Yeah. Anyways. Before we get into racial, geographical stereotypes.
Why not?
No, tigers kill a fuck ton of people in India, bro. I'm not pulling that out of... Like, literally, like, that's a real problem over there.
I'm pretty sure anywhere tigers exist, they're killing people.
You go to LA Zoo, you're not afraid of the fucking tigers getting loose, bro. Tell me you are.
Yeah, you know what you are afraid of? A fucking earthquake, because we don't give a fuck about the environment and we just consume and destroy it.
Anywhere. Like, I'm afraid of earthquake.
No, but especially here in America.
North America. Especially anywhere near the same
United States.
Honestly, Yellowstone, the caldera Yellowstone keeps me up at night. I've said that numerous times. But it does. Like, if that goes, we're all going to die. Doesn't even matter if you're vaccinated or not.
No, there'll be a vaccine for that.
And you probably
nature. It's called carbon dioxide. And like a smoke cloud that covers Texas 10 times over.
They'll make a vaccine.
This is what I'm talking about right here.
Like, we're all going to die from something.
But you might just get voted off your own podcast in midair, bro. This is what I'm talking about.
35 minutes late.
Hold on. Ready? Quotes from this show a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Tigers kill a bunch of people over India every year.
Right.
From 24 to 2019, tigers killed 200 people. So 50 people a year.
That still makes me.
Bro, I'm pretty sure ice
still makes
cream.
me-
I'm pretty sure those 5 root beer floats you drank before this show have killed more than 200 people.
I might be lactose
in 5
intolerant.
years.
That was just a cleanse.
I'm pretty sure.
To cleanse myself of bullshit before the show.
Let's see. How many people has lactose killed?
More hippos killed.
How many people have died from lactose in the past 5 years?
But I mean,
if Google has an answer for this,
there's going to be an answer. He worked hard to get that computer going. He's going to use it today.
This should be interesting. Lactose.
There's no Google answer, so I have to dig. To be continued.
Oh, you got to go to page 2?
What a letdown.
Oh, hippos kill more people than tigers at that rate. Hippos kill apparently like 3,000
Apparently hippos
people.
are a problem right now in Colombia because of the ones that Escobar used to have. So
Wait, what the fuck? There's hippos in Colombia?
They weren't indigenous, so
I'm like, they're definitely imported because like, how the fuck are hippos
imported
getting
from Escobar days. 'Cause he had just a weird, crazy farms, and they got in the wild. Now they're like wild and Colombian hippos.
I don't want to be around a coked out hippo.
No,
Like, fam, that's terror. And hippos can swim really fast.
yes,
They kill like 3,000 people a year.
and they're vegetarians.
That means they just like killing humans.
They're just like killing. They're just killers.
That's like, okay, who do you have better chances against in a fight for your life? A bear, a hippo, or a tiger? What's the least painful death?
Probably the hippo. He'll
All right.
least painful?
Here we go.
Least painful. It has to be the bear. The bear will just jerk you and snap your neck by accident.
Maul you, yeah.
The cat's just I'm gonna rip your fucking throat out
Yeah.
and then eat you and pass you around. That'll be a really painful
Okay.
death. But the hippo, you're gonna feel all of it in seconds.
Over the
It's
course
a peer-reviewed article.
of 20 years,
20 years.
15,545 women died from lactose intolerance.
Over the past 20 years, how many people have died from tiger attacks? Like, come on, use the same metric, guy.
Jesus. It's not like there's a cross chart.
So, and then
It's not like there's not a
How many people
spreadsheet
have
for
been
this.
killed in the past 20 years by tigers? At least pick the same time period, bro. I know lots of people die from lactose.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Like, it's not that easy to determine how many people have died from lactose because people die from symptoms of the lactose intolerance.
So why did you pick a really hard thing to prove?
So, like, hip fractures and, like, fucking digestive things, like, stuff like that. Versus if you get mauled by a tiger, you got mauled by a tiger, and maybe you survive and die from symptoms, like, a couple years later.
Yeah, dude, like from lactose, you just eat some cheese. Oh, cool. You had a hard time.
The cheese
pooping
kills
the
you,
next
not
day.
the
You just had a hard time taking the shit
out of you for 20 minutes.
The shit felt like you're going to die, but like you survived. You might have destroyed your toilet though, but the lactose didn't fucking kill
The
you.
lion pounded you out and fell
But there
asleep
might
on
be a
top of
vaccine
you.
for that too. You should
There
take
might
that.
be a
There's no
vaccine
vaccine
for
for
tolerance.
There's no vaccine for
There
a
might
cat.
be a vaccine for that.
Nah, I would just at that point I would hope the vaccine would kill me so I didn't have to die by tiger. Like, I'd rather just get stuck with some shit and then that's it. Than like a tiger fucks me up and I gotta live like a Pop-Tart cut in half for the rest of my life.
Pop-Tart. Jesus.
Like, honestly, like, let's be real. Like, your brain would just have to pump so much dopamine into you that I would almost rather just to
not scratch your air leg.
just like literally like the cat would fuck you up and then like
hell, bro. I'm going.
you really are. That's why you're living it.
Going there.
Like the cat would just fuck you up and then lay on top of you and fall asleep, and then get up and slap you around again. That's how fucking sick cats are.
They're maniacal creatures.
They
bro.
would fuck you up and then lay there like an abusive spouse. Like, oh, you're still alive?
Oh, let me roll around in your blood.
Let me lay on top of you. Like, I'm not humping you. This isn't sexual, but I'm just going to lay here on top of you.
It's definitely sexual.
Dislocate your shoulder a little bit. Mush your face. Totally just breaking your fucking jawbone. If your eye still popped in your head, like, you were like, fuck, the hippo would have just stepped on me and it would have been over.
Yeah.
But, like, damn. Or the hippo would have saved your life and then just rolled over on you by accident and forgot you were there. And then wakes up and, like, your face is just smeared into its ass. You died death by hippo. Hippo was just it was a story about a hippo just capsizing a boat, killed 13 people. Did the hippos just say, "Fuck it, we're gonna let you drown"? Like, were they like some like, we didn't kill you. Like, it wasn't the fall that got you. You got thrown out of a window. The fall didn't get you.
You drowned on your own.
Yeah, as Exhibit said,
we didn't save you.
Yeah, as Exhibit said, it wasn't the fall that got him. It was a sharp, sudden stop at the bottom that killed you. Like Gwen Stacy and fucking Spider-Man. No, throwing you off that shit, where technically, if we're really doing real time, you'd have broke your neck midway just because of terminal velocity. You can't fall that far that fast with that much air pressure difference and your flimsy-ass human neck. But, hey, bottom line is, you just have to get vaccinated one way or another, and hope you don't get, like, murder fucked by a tiger. Or, like, set up to get murdered by a hippo. Or just, like, physically abused by a bear.
You're really mad when you finally get vaccinated and some fucking...
And I become lactose intolerant?
Cougar fucking panther hybrid just fucking jumps out on fucking... La Cienega in Venice and fucking chumps your ass, bro. You gonna be real mad.
Maybe it's a hospital right there.
Why did you just make up an animal? He just made up an... Who the fuck talked about panthers, dog? Like,
God.
I said Sam Darnold. You're bringing in panthers.
I finally got a vaccine.
The whole cat family.
Panther, cougar, fucking zebra hybrid just comes out of nowhere. Fucking chomps on my ass.
A panbra? A panbra?
A shark throw. Like a shark panther walking on the land right there, just killing a homeless encampment off of Venice. Just fucking gets out of his stand, fucking chomps on your ass when you waiting for the bus. You gonna be real mad.
Bus ain't even out that late at night. It's gonna be like a fucking street.
It's a shark throw, bro. It don't care.
It's a gang. It's just a gang.
Care.
They don't have like members only leather jackets. Just a gang of them rolling down Venice.
All right, man. So we haven't talked about football, but yeah.
Oh shit, we actually forgot something. Dak Prescott signed on as a Jordan brand ambassador.
That's cool.
And he's leaving Adidas, so now he's their only QB client, their highest paid client. And
then Justin Fields will be there in a couple years too. Just
don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. It's the Bears. Don't jinx it.
And he's wearing number 1.
And Adidas, Adidas and the Bears are kind of synonymous. There we go. I'm not Pete. I know how to enunciate.
Wow.
What if I took the vaccine and then it made me start talking like Pete, where I just couldn't enunciate words? I said Kenneth with a lisp at the end.
I'd be more mad if Eric took the vaccine and just turned into you.
Turns to a big black dude who's younger.
Just came in here 200 pounds lighter.
Hey, fuck you, bro.
And 40 years younger.
40. Jesus.
Wow, what a dick.
I'm not even 40 years old, goddammit.
He's still a millennial.
I could have just bashed him and not bashed you. Come on, man.
Somebody's like, maybe...
I noticed there's a little more gray in the beard,
maybe
but it's like one with the fucking hair. Goddammit.
He should take another vaccine.
I don't discriminate.
You do discriminate, just equally.
Yeah. Across the board. Just heinous discrimination. Just HR suit after HR.
I hate you. I hate you. I really fucking hate you.
For reasons, I hate you for reasons that I hate those two people who've never met.
My conscience doesn't come to the podcast anymore, man. Shout out to Izzy, wherever you are. We miss you.
Izzy's like, fuck these guys. Fuck you, Pete.
Yeah, because Izzy was the only one who called me out.
No, we all called you out, actually. You're just the only person.
Izzy the most, though, man. Shout out to Izzy.
Could you stop, fidgeting with the goddamn mic?
It's because this shit. Somehow I keep getting the fucking broken mic.
No, you just keep touching the mic.
It's just placed in a different area.
Yeah, put the mic in... Put the mic in one spot.
I didn't say to get these fucking lip dick Viagra fucking microphone holders, okay? The microphone holders we had were perfectly fine.
I mean, you could tell Keith that. See, look how hard that was. Not hard at all, right?
Yeah, but the angle's all fucked up.
Hey, man.
Pause.
Hey, dude.
Not your studio. So calm the fuck down.
It's not a microphone bukkake, bro. All right.
Why did you have to bring bukkake back?
Bro, you gotta stop saying bukkake.
So hard.
Bro, you're the audio engineer. You can't say fucking bukkake, bro.
I mean, it's like bukkake.
Definitely say bukkake.
You're supposed to tell us to not say bukkake.
I feel like he really just did that because that's where he puts in breaks in the show. That's
Is that your boundary?
Is bukkake your timestamp?
You don't go beyond bukkake? Like,
I mean, is that your? I think that's your trigger word, but
That's your
Pete's
timestamp?
is like strippers and perfume, you know.
Now I'm just like, has to be a timestamp for you, bro. Like, are you getting like bukkake ads from this podcast and we don't know about it?
Jay Cutler sent me a few, bro. You know.
wow!
You missed all the Jay Cutler slander.
Woo! Is that why Brandon Marshall doesn't like him?
Possibly.
I mean, he took out a loan from him years ago when Brandon Marshall like fucked off a bunch of money at casino. He's like, okay, here's the loan. You're gonna pay me back.
Imagine talking shit about Jay Cutler
When
in
you owe him
Denver
money.
and then ending up with him in Chicago.
I did. I do remember that.
You learned.
That actually happened. No, I remember because I was living. I had two roommates. One in Phoenix. One of them was a Cardinal fan ish, and then the other was a Cowboy fan. And I was talking shit about Jay Cutler. He's like, you guys might get him. I'm like, fuck no. Fuck that. We're not going to sign that piece of shit. Literally like 5 hours later. Breaking news, Jay Cutler.
100 million.
Yeah, I think it's breaking news on MySpace or something like that. So, but I was just like, God damn it. And then they took Kyle Orton. And I was like, I actually liked Kyle Orton as a Bear. He was, he's better than Rex Grossman.
He beat the Raiders that one time.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it was better than what we had, and it just wasn't Jay Cutler. It's just like, all right, do I get excited? I'm like, cool. It's still really our defense. Actually, I did see them play in San Francisco. And that was actually a really good game. But yeah, fucking Jay Cutler.
Have you given your college football report? Because you played the gong like 5 minutes ago.
It's not a gong, dude.
I guess not.
It's a classroom
Whatever.
bell. Jesus Christ.
Whatever.
Nah, he was always late anyway. He never heard it.
You definitely showed in the class like 10 minutes.
You know what's
late.
funny though? Like, since you've been on this podcast, I've probably been late more than like 3 years before you.
I think since I've been on this podcast, you've been like on time twice. Sometimes you don't show up at all. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I thought today was one of those days.
It's been 30 minutes. We're only here for 30 minutes. Hey, I'm not showing up and we're calling. Motherfuckers.
Hey, that was twice. All right? that was 2 times.
That was like 5 times.
No, that was like 2 times.
Since the pandemic started,
like 2
5
times.
The
That
funny
was
thing
like
is,
2
he was
times.
very surprised that we were on the show before he got here. He's like, "You guys really started?"
Why do you keep? Oh my God, he can't just see.
No,
he can't just leave the mic in one spot
because you guys were so
it.
like nonchalant. I was like, oh, okay. You guys waited for me to go on. I was like,
We're
okay.
radio professionals.
Then I was talking shit, and then I was like, oh shit, you guys are already on the air.
So the B
this
word
is
is banned
awkward.
from this podcast
Like,
for the
this is
next
awkward.
couple months,
This
weeks.
is awkward. Like, I'm late and walking in and professional. Wow.
And
2
you
for
smell
1.
like shitty
This
beer.
shit. Look at this limp ass shit.
I mean, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Just
That's how fucking
talk
Brian,
into it.
that's how
Jesus.
Brian Bosworth felt.
When he was getting his fucking mouthful
After all the
of
roids.
Bo Jackson's nuts.
After all the roids.
I'm pretty sure it's when Bo
His
Jackson
fucking
shoved his
microphone
nuts
was
in his
just
face.
hanging there.
Well, talk about some college football there, Kenny.
There's only one story, and it's kind of dark. But
I'm
not,
going to go pee, so you stall.
Well, and it kind of involves peeing and abuse. But no, I'm just kidding. Wow,
We're pros, ladies
that's
and
what you
gentlemen.
get. That's what you just. That's what you fucking deserve. Good. That's what you fucking deserve.
We're professionals. You better close the door, dude. I don't want to hear that shit. That microphone's pointing that direction, too.
Hey, you hit your hip again.
I'm muted.
Yeah, that's what you get, old man.
I'm fucking.
Oh,
You better close that door, Dad. Damn it.
He closed the door. He closed the door. I don't know what's wrong with Pete. It's just wow. Anyway, so the son of legendary Michigan head coach Bo Schembechler. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna try that one more time. Shit. Okay. So Bo Schembechler. Okay. There we go. So his son, Matt, pretty much said that he was, he told his father he was sexually assaulted by Dr. Robert Anderson in 1969, and his dad didn't really do anything. Anderson worked there in Michigan from 1966 to 2003. He worked within the athletic department between 1981 and 1999. And, he said, pretty much the thing with Bo Anderson and Dr. Anderson and Bo has stuck with me for years. It's been hurtful. I felt betrayed. The coverage of what happened at Michigan State with Dr. Larry Nassar really woke me up. They're launching an investigation in Michigan. And there's a report that was released in May, and it found that Dr. Anderson had engaged in sexual misconduct with patients on countless occasions. Yikes. And also, Dr. Anderson's misconduct ranged from performing medical unnecessary hernia and rectal examinations on patients seeking treatment for wholly unrelated issues to manually stimulating male patients and causing them to ejaculate, to quid pro quo arrangements in which he provided medical services in exchange for sexual contact, the report read. Yikes. Wilmer Hale, by the way, released the report. So, pretty much one area of the allegations from Bo's son, it was that, Bo Schembechler was aware of the allegations at the time, and if anything, he really didn't do much, if anything, to alert the school officials. And Wilmer Hale collected information from over 800 people, including 300 who were interviewed by the law firm. The investigation found that a senior university administrator was told about Dr. Anderson's misconduct several times between 1978 or 79 and 1981, but did not take appropriate action. One former player told Wilmer Hale that he reached out to Schembechler to say he didn't feel comfortable going to Anderson following an examination. He said Schembechler responded that physicals were a requirement to play football. The same player said another coach used the threat of an examination with Dr. Anderson as a motivation tool. The coach denied the claim. Another former player said Schembechler instructed him to toughen up when he asked why Anderson performed a rectal exam on him.
Jeez.
Wow. It's only getting worse. A student athlete who was at the school in the early 1980s said he received...
fuck me, guys. Don't unmute me when I come back.
Sorry.
You really wanted to say fuck me after I just said rectal exam?
Sorry.
Read the room, asshole. Anyway, so a student athlete who was at the school in the early 1980s said he received a digital... How the fuck... They were giving digital rectal exams in 1980? I have other questions. Ow. A laser rectal exam? Ow. Okay, so... He received a digital rectal exam at least 3 times when seeing Anderson for migraines. The student said he informed Schembechler, who said he should report the allegations to then athletic director Don Canham. The student said he spoke with Canham in 1982 and 1983, but it didn't appear Canham acted on the claims. Schembechler spent 21 years as Michigan's head coach. He died in 2006. The Michigan Wolverines gave him a statue in 2014, and there have been calls since for the school to remove the statue as more of Dr. Anderson's misconduct has come to light. Yikes. Yeah. Shit is gross, man. Shit's gross. And the article written was by Joseph Zucker.
Could you just imagine being like...
I have a migraine.
Could you imagine just being like a black head coach and taking your players to Michigan for a visit? Like right now? It's crazy.
I mean... Schembechler's been dead for so long.
Yeah, but that's the greatest coach in history
of the school.
Everything that is built right now is based off of that. Like,
we talked about this off air. Coaches can't really be hard asses anymore. Like, no, some of them can. It's just it's just hit differently.
I don't know.
But imagine like a whole legacy. Like Joe Paterno's legacy is scarred because he let his players get raped by his defensive coordinator.
But the difference with that is like, okay, you
knew something was up and didn't say shit.
But besides that, is like, okay, we know what happened now. It's over. Like, you put a chapter mark in like that. Like, you ended it, whatever. This shit went on for so long, and it went unaddressed for so long.
So did Sandusky.
It's even more ingrained in the culture because, like, everything with Paterno, everything with Sandusky, like, has an asterisk to it, has a bad taste in its mouth.
Poor choice.
People still talk about fucking Bo Schembechler as if he's one of the greatest college football coaches.
Michigan been trash for a minute, and Lloyd Carr.
And exactly, that's why he gets a lot of credit because Michigan has shit now.
Lloyd
but
Carr
during that time, they weren't.
Him. Lloyd Carr came after him.
But still, he was the athletic director during that time.
Yeah, but again, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago with the USC cheerleaders and like other, student athletes.
And I think the other worst part is that's his son, bro. You didn't even believe your son.
That's the icing on the cake. You didn't believe your son when he said, yo, this dude like pretty much molested me. Like, you were jerking off male students to the point of ejaculation? Imagine how fucked up some of those kids were when they left the office, when they were like, what just happened to me? Did I just get violated? And then they just denied it for years until one day, like, they didn't realize it fucked up their relationship with sex and other people. Because, like, a doctor went beyond the pale and violated them. Imagine how many people's lives have been ruined behind shit like that. And this was almost over 40 years, from 1966 to 2003? Like, I know it's all fun and games and jokes on this podcast, but we get serious. This is one of those moments. Like, when are we going to have a point, like, you're sending your kids to college, and some of the people who are supposed to protect them are predators. Some of these teachers, some of these fucking administrators, some of these doctors. Like, I know cats who have gotten shitty medical advice from trainers, and it fucked them up. And they couldn't say anything because the coach is ingrained in the program, or, the coach is married to a trainer, or the trainer is married to the fucking school president, or whatever. Like, some weird, nasty shit going on. And you got a history of people getting... Like, fam, if I come to you for a migraine, you don't ever need to stick your fingers in my ass. Like, that's wild, bro. And that happened multiple times. And then that's like, his son is like, oh, shit, you didn't even believe your own son? And now we're going to just like, oh, now we got to talk about all this abuse that happened and all these same things that happened. He said, this thing with Michigan State and Larry Nassar really opened my eyes. Which kind of goes back to my point, because my mom worked in the medical field for years. I'm like, if you're a dude, I don't think you should have female patients and be doing procedures on them, even if you're a male doctor. Like, that would just alleviate a lot of
I think the other
things.
element too, and I think it's kind of what you're like talking around a little bit, is like, okay, like, now it's easy to look back and say we know better. This is stupid. It sucks. Whatever.
People knew back then, but the climate of society wasn't, let's do the right thing.
Yeah, bro. But yeah,
let's follow procedure and tradition.
Exactly. People knew, but it's just like anything. Like, the 70s were the time when the most serial killings happened. The 90s, where people just started getting killed off by drugs. Like, they didn't need serial killers anymore. Like, so to just sit here and be like, yeah, well, you knew this was going on. You should have said something. A lot of shit was going on during that time that shouldn't have been going on that we can look back and say, y'all shouldn't have criminalized mental illness. Y'all shouldn't have declared a war on drugs. Y'all shouldn't have done... Y'all should have been talking about fucking affirmative action differently. Y'all should have been talking about social justice. Should have been talking about gay marriage that nobody wanted to talk about, but everyone knew was going on. Like, there's a bunch of shit that was going on there.
But medical malfeasance has been going on for hundreds of years. Like, they used to literally do... You can look up the horrible shit they've done to black women in the medical field. It'll keep you up at night. And some of the tests they did for women who were like, who just had fucking headaches, like how they would lobotomize women who had fucking headaches at one point because they thought you were crazy. So they would literally fucking lobotomize you. Like,
but that's
some wild shit. Like,
but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
all
like,
this is. It's like
what I'm saying though is like even for the victims at that time, what they were experiencing and going through. They probably didn't even know what to call it or how to deal with it because this shit happens today, 30 years later, and people know what it is and how to see it, and they know the symptoms and the signs, and they still can't deal with it. So 30 years ago, like, all I'm saying is, like, it's a lot easier now to look back and say, like, that was bad. But, like, there's a reason why it happened for 20 years and nobody said anything until his son came out. Now, 30 years later.
Said, hey, I got touched by this doctor, too.
15 years later after his dad died.
He's like, hey, my father didn't believe me. That's your legacy right there. Like, it's done. That's your legacy. I don't care how. I don't care if you, like, Charles Woodson thinks you were a mentor or whoever the fuck thought you were a mentor. You failed your own son. And countless other people because of that. Like, that's some gross, horrible shit to me. Like, I don't think you get, like if they pulled your statue down and destroyed it with sledgehammers and took your name off everything, I mean, think about it. At LSU, they took Darius Guice's name out of the record books for the rape allegations and what he's going through. That was, what, a 2-year span? He was at LSU, 2.5 years. So that's a player. Okay, fine. Take his name off things. I understand. This is a coach who has awards named after him. Like, strip his name off every fucking thing. And then put up a plaque. Hey, he let a bunch of people get victimized along with Dr. David Anderson. And here's all the co-conspirators. Here's a plaque with his name on it. Oh, yeah. And he won to school a bunch of fucking football games. But people don't think like that, and I feel like it'll take our generation and people on further to be like, nah, this is what this dude was doing when he was winning games.
Here's a quote from an SI article that pretty much just kind of sums up what the difference is between now and then. So according to this report, this guy, Jim Troy, who's one of the most important gay activists in the University of Michigan's history, he warned that Anderson was, quote unquote, fooling around with boys in 1977. Like, that term in itself is not something that we would use today. Right?
We would, but we know what that means. That's a red flag. That's an instant trigger for us. But back then, they called that shit playtime. Like the 70s was a different era than right now. So playing around with boys in the 70s versus playing around with boys in 2021, we all get a red flag from that. But back then, I could see how him saying that would get pushed aside.
I think you're right, but I think you're thinking of it differently. I'm thinking of it more as in, like, you wouldn't say fooling around with boys because you wouldn't be afraid to talk around the gay issue. You wouldn't be afraid to be like,
hey, this dude is molesting
he has
people.
relations with boys, or he's molesting boys, or he's touching boys, or he's fornicating with boys, or he's doing something with boys.
He may or may not have a gay
like
fetish for
you wouldn't talk around
boys.
the gayness in that act. Like,
so you say messing around with boys
just to take the gayness out of it, but it's like
But it's like you're sexually assaulting.
Like you're trying to make it not because you don't want to talk about like, you know, homosexual relations. But that in itself is not the issue here. The issue is the fact that this person is in a position of power and is
medically abusing people
to medically, as their physician, someone they should trust, take advantage of them sexually.
Because a headache shouldn't lead to like sodomy. Because I'm pretty sure,
like what I'm saying,
people are like, yeah, sure.
What I'm saying is like
this
saying is making it sound like, oh, like hey, this person's curious and is like experimenting with the same sex to like, you know, just see what's going on. Versus which is not actually what happened. Like this dude was raping people, violating college-age boys because he has a position of power.
And then it says, there's the parts of the story where it says he did things to people till they ejaculated. Well, as if you know anything about sex ed, they'll tell you, like, apparently the orgasm in a man's asshole, like, that's what you do to stimulate it. So we don't know a quarter of the shit he was doing to people in those locker rooms that he was justifying away. That's the scary thing. It's like, bro, what were you doing to people? Like, do we even want to know? Like, do we really want to know the full details of what he was doing? Will it really come out? Or is it like the Larry Nassar situation and he just gets piled in and we only talk about Larry Nassar? We don't talk about David Anderson the same way we talk about Larry Nassar. And that's also like a danger too, because you only put the face of pedophilia or like medical malpractice on one person when it's like, no, there's a lot of them. And I feel like we should call out all of them the same way with the same amount of intensity and like dismissive, like, no, that shit's not cool.
So this is a quote that ends the SI article, and it just says this: "We're tearing down all our heroes in America, quote unquote." And the writer of this SI article adds to that, maybe in sports, we just have too many.
That's a bar. That's definitely a bar. In the medical industry, you could just take sports out of it. Like, when I've talked to my mom and she's talked about shit she's seen, things she's heard, and how, like, the medical industry was 30, 40 years ago, like, there's backlogs, like, probably at least 100 years just in this country of, like, horrible shit that's gone on in the medical industry where they've done things to people and it comes out and we're like, why the fuck did y'all ever attempt this? Why did y'all ever think this was a good idea? So, like, anytime I hear shit like this, stories like this, it just kind of makes me squirm. I feel bad for everybody involved.
Bro, it's science. It's just like, even with this COVID shit.
No, there's science and then there's, like, predatory shit.
No, I know, but
like, that's the fine line of science. Is it science, experimentation, or exploitation?
It's both. It's both, but it's like, it's both in the sense that, like, yeah, it's experimentation, but it's also like, bro, you don't have to experiment with fire to know that it's gonna burn your ass.
Yeah, I don't have to put my hand on a blue flame to know
like,
that's
yeah,
hot.
technically, you lighting yourself on fire is experimenting because you want to see what happens. But, like, if you actually know what's gonna happen, you're gonna get burnt and end up in the ICU. You're not really testing anything. You're not really doing anything. You're just fucking yourself up for the sake of it.
Like Jackass and Bam Margera and how he's suing that whole cast in that situation. Y'all was fucking yourselves up for years. That's different than, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, nah, bro, you were doing pranks and lighting shit on fire and hitting each other in the nuts and all types of wild shit. Like, don't be like, oh, I was a predatory environment now. Like, your uncle was a fucking child molester. First off, Uncle Vito, if you know anything about that story. But anyway, that's another issue. Yeah, that's sorry, that was a lot.
That was a lot. Let's go to some good news on Take Your Tangent then.
Yeah, because... Sorry, I needed a palate cleanser.
I'm the biggest balls that you've seen thus far.
No. No. Don't do that. Okay, now...
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
That was awful. Could you stop?
You sound like a gorilla.
You sound like you're the one getting a rectal exam.
That's
wow.
That's
Yeah, that was too far.
that got you to stop, though,
bro. You can take a lap off that one.
You need to take a lap.
What do you know what a man sounds like when he's getting a rectal exam? First of all,
My mom told me.
you ain't 40.
My mom told me. She's
You
like,
ain't 40.
I know it's fucked up. My mom keeps telling me I need to get a rectal exam now at 29 because Chadwick Boseman died. I was like, that ain't got shit to do with me.
Good
rectal
Lord.
cancer don't run in our family.
Good Lord.
Why do you want me to get a colonoscopy this fucking young? She
Now
said.
I'm gonna go get one, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
that
wants-
is true.
it's like a
She's-
cleanse.
If colon cancer,
She
you
wants
kill
you-
the Black Panther, bro. You kill any of us.
He was like 37, right?
Only make that joke half-heartedly.
You don't have a heart, you sick fuck.
I'll hit it.
Oh,
Stop it.
Greg Olson, 8-year-old son TJ,
You're disgusting.
gets
bro.
a heart transplant and tells his siblings.
Yeah, when he was a baby, he needed a heart transplant. Got on the list. And now he's 8. They're like, his heart's kind of giving out. Thankfully, he got one.
I remember
Salute
this.
to him and his family, and just Olsen's like, Greg Olsen's a great dude.
Yeah, I think this was something that he was campaigning with when he was even a Bear. His son had some kind of heart.
damn! I forgot Greg Olsen was a Bear, bro.
Yeah, we drafted him. It's
I know.
Tried to
I
end his
forget
career,
about
too.
that.
Tried to
I
fucking
forget
ruin a
about
Hall
that,
of
bro.
Fame career.
But anyway,
Mike Martz, thanks for that one.
yeah, Mike Marks, fucking asshole. But anyway, but yeah, I just remember he was always campaigning for this, so it's something him and his wife had really gone through great lengths to. So I think this is great news for his son to finally have this problem taken care of and have a heart.
Indeed.
Moving on, Jonathan Joseph retires after 15 years in the league as former first-round pick at cornerback.
South Carolina.
He played for the Texans forever, didn't he?
The Texans, the Bengals. I don't even remember who the fuck drafted him anymore. I think it was the Texans.
I think it was the Texans.
The
He went to the
Vikings.
Bengals.
Don't forget about the Vikings.
That
That
was
was
towards-
like his best career. That was like his best stretch.
No, it wasn't. He played for the Bengals, and that was his best stretch.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Got to mix up with old ass Antoine Whitfield.
Don't ever disrespect Antoine Winfield, first off. He was a linebacker playing corner. He was 5'9", and he had like 100 tackles in the season and like 5 picks. Like, bro had a Hall of Fame career for like 5 years, if we're keeping it a bean. And he was a first-round pick out of Ohio State.
But
And
he
his
got
sons-
slow in his last years with Minnesota, too.
Like, he's 5'9", and a corner, hitting like a linebacker. He led the team in tackles, I think, one year
Yeah, he did.
for
I
the
remember that.
Vikings.
Yeah.
So it's like, put some respect on his name. Don't be disrespectful.
Hall of Famer?
Not
No.
quite.
No.
If he was a safety, I'd be like, yeah. I think he was a better player than John Lynch ever was.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then
I still don't. That John Lynch situation.
I
Really
forgot he played for Buffalo.
like, bro, I think that might have been who Deion Sanders was talking
I
about.
totally
when he
forgot
said-
Antoine Winfield played his first half with Buffalo.
He played for Buffalo and Minnesota.
Dog, Buffalo might really be DBU, huh?
Yeah. They always get good DBs.
Out of nowhere.
Good to great.
Well,
Imagine the Raiders should have had Tre'Davious White. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, well, they just don't know how to draft, do they?
They took Garyon Conley instead of Tre'Davious White. And Tre'Davious White was a senior captain at LSU. Man,
Well, moving on. The NFL announces its 2021 preseason schedule. Yeah, boring.
that's how I felt.
Yeah,
I just threw that in there because I was like,
well, it's just
does anybody care?
Is it
It's
3
two
weeks
games.
this year? Not 4 weeks, 3 weeks?
I'd rather
The
see.
Hall of Fame
I'd rather
game?
see the open practices, like the practice I was supposed to go to today.
Why didn't you go? Because you got drunk at the
Because I don't have a fucking phone.
Because Wi-Fi.
You think I deserve to go to a fucking open practice with no phone?
What is that thing?
It's not activated.
Which ties in.
You have a phone, but it's not a phone.
AT&T's been trying to make me fucking go find the fucking Soul Stone and the fucking
Reality Stone.
What's that fucking wand in Harry Potter and the fucking 7th Dragon Ball to fucking activate my phone, bro. Like, okay, let me go across these fucking 3 movie franchises and get you all the fucking things you need.
The funny
You gotta destroy the whole cruxes. You gotta destroy the whole cruxes.
The funny thing is they expect you to get around town without a GPS from your phone right now.
I mean, so far I've been okay.
If you have problems, just call the service number. With what phone? I have no Wi-Fi.
Bro, I can't even get to my iCloud. I can't download apps because I don't have a phone number for 2-factor authentication. I can't get into shit.
Oh,
because if you want 2-factor notification, you need a phone number.
I don't even want 2-factor authentication.
You want the email.
Every app just makes you get 2-factor authentication.
So then they send you the text, but you can't even send it back
have a fucking
because
text.
You don't have a phone number. So
Yes.
then you want to change it to email, and the email sends you a text message.
I'm about a day away from switching to fucking Cricket. There you go. Cricket.
You say, I'm not even going to go to T-Mobile. I'm just going to Cricket. That's hilarious. Might as well get a boost. Didn't they bring back the sidekicks?
Mint.
something. Yeah, Mint. That's the one with Ryan Reynolds or something like that.
$30 a month.
Why not?
No, I'm pretty much married to Apple at this point.
Well, last thing with taking tangents.
They have iPhones now.
We're kind of keeping on with this. Restaurants not having Wi-Fi.
Wow, you really added that?
Yes, I did. We talked about the food service industry to start the show.
And you and I disagree on this.
I don't think they should. I mean,
wow, we're learning a lot about people today.
No, seriously. Look, like speaking, like being in restaurants for so long. What you want to turn, especially if you're in a busy restaurant, you want to turn those tables, right? What do people fucking do at the tables now for another hour? Sit on their fucking phones. They're not eating. They're not drinking. They're just like, they're Googling each other's kids on Instagram and hating that bitch on Instagram and calling that bitch a
because
slut.
where do you work? You work in the fucking West Side where fucking
that's anywhere,
Jebediah fucking
you wanted to
Jones Smith fucking gets off at 3 p.m. every day because his intern works an extra 2 hours for him. So he comes home and goes into your office, into your fucking job, and orders fucking happy hour only menu. And then as soon as happy hour ends, he's fucking going through those emails, making sure his fucking intern replied to them. So yeah, not everywhere's the same, Eric.
Fuck Wi-Fi at restaurants.
Fam, what? This is not even for the workers, bro?
No.
Wow, it's like you're a closet Republican and I didn't know it.
Oh,
I mean, he is from New Mexico.
I am conservative.
He is from New Mexico and Phoenix.
I'm conservative about my money too.
But I'm conservative.
I respect that though. I respect that, but like, I never would have guessed it. Like that would have been your hill. Like. No Wi-Fi in restaurants.
Straight
Are
up.
you gonna pay?
But,
okay.
Like
Okay. Wait. Hold on.
Because what about restaurants that have digital menus?
Hold on. So in Eric's world, right? Let's just say 10 years from now.
Some things I still believe.
Let's just say
universal
10
healthcare,
years
too.
from now, Eric has his own restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. Top of the line place. Everything's going good. He's got investors. He ain't got to worry about shit.
Where at?
He's doing well. I don't know. Somewhere above the 90.
Above the 90.
That was like the most that was the most polite way to be racist ever.
At LAX or what?
Yeah.
Just finish.
Between the 90 and the 10, somewhere in there, okay? Like, let's just,
A little bubble.
Yeah.
Mar Vista.
Not east.
Mar Vista shouldn't count as its own
Not
city.
east of the 110. For sure not east of the 110.
Definitely
All right. We're definitely west of the 110. All right.
Maybe near the 105,
Anyways.
but mostly on the west side.
So, do you, A, pay your people well enough so that they all have good fucking data plans and everyone's good? Or do you just pay them average salaries and pay a little bit more so that them and your customers have Wi-Fi?
And TV's coming to play too. Shout out to Red Robins.
You have to have Wi-Fi. I just hate it.
Okay, then. We're going somewhere.
Yeah, you have to have Wi-Fi. But get the fuck off the phone and get the hell out.
Maybe there's a timer on the Wi-Fi. No, maybe you have to put a timer on the Wi-Fi, and when that timer's up, you got to get the fuck out.
Like Starbucks.
No, you only get an hour of using the Wi-Fi.
You know what I would do?
Why do you spend an hour in a restaurant?
To be a complete asshole, what I'll do is I'll give you free Wi-Fi for 10 minutes and charge you $5 for the next hour.
That's smart. That's actually not bad.
But like, is it like 5G Wi-Fi? What are we talking like?
Nah, it's like 3G, dude. It's like
that's nothing then.
Yeah,
that's
fuck you and get the hell out.
It's hotel Wi-Fi. It's the free hotel Wi-Fi.
It's not even
You're
extended
charging
stay.
us for the free hotel Wi-Fi.
You're charging me for extended stay Wi-Fi. I could literally be standing in front of an extended stay and get the Wi-Fi.
What's wrong with you and extended stay?
They're fires, bro. It's a nice place to be, especially in South Bay.
I guess.
Hell, In-N-Out has decent Wi-Fi.
I don't know.
I mean, if we're talking about comings and goings, everybody's
I have
going
data now.
But I'm saying,
I have that data privilege.
my thing is, I think if you're gonna say, okay, no Wi-Fi, and that's a respectable reason, but you gotta understand the nature of your business, and if people want to be on social media and talk about your business, they gotta have internet access.
I mean, technically, you don't need Wi-Fi to do that, though.
But then a lot of places have iPads. Because they're saving money and they're doing all the shit on iPads and technology. So you need Wi-Fi. You need Wi-Fi. Wi-Pads. Damn, that might be a product. I'm gonna just keep that to myself. A Wi-Pad.
Nah,
what's
dude,
the first question? Why do you need Wi-Fi?
Complete analog. Everybody handwritten tickets. There you go.
Carpal tunnel though.
Right.
Health insurance spikes. Carpal
Tunnel. Tunnel from writing tickets.
People gotta
Making me feel old to say goddamn millennial pussies.
Someone's millennials.
Someone's handwriting might offend somebody else's too.
Right.
They
might call that handwriting racist.
I know doctors on cocaine with better handwriting than you.
All right, so can we move on?
It's at the bottom, bro. Woo. Julio Jones is wearing number 2 in Tennessee. What do you think?
Touchdown.
Really?
Why not?
Well, Hunter
It's
Henry
in New Jersey.
Hunter Henry can't change it.
He wore number 1 at Alabama. What, does the fucking punter?
Probably.
Hey, bitch.
He was there first.
Give me your number.
Number 11. Number 11.
I don't know. I've always thought number 2 was a hard ass number.
It is, but for Julio, he always had number 1.
I don't know. I always fuck with number 2. I think that's a hard ass number.
It is.
And
Shout
going
out
to
Robert
new spot, I think it makes sense.
I'd be like, I need number 1, bro. If I'm not getting 11, I'll take 1.
I guess.
Yeah, that's probably the kicker.
Kicker probably got it. I'd be like, Julio, you want number 1, bro?
Damn.
Hunter Henry couldn't get number 2 before him then.
Hunter Henry deserves no single-digit numbers. I think his number...
He should just have a big X.
I think that'd be cool. Or 0. That'd be cool, too. Because I think his number was like was 80-something at fucking Arkansas. Bro, unless you were a tight end who actually like had a 1-digit number and you were a beast, you shouldn't get that. Like, tight ends should not be allowed to have single-digit numbers.
The Clippers lost, but Donovan Mitchell is crying on the floor right now. So, to be determined.
Somebody hit him with another racial slur in Utah?
Nah, he has a bad calf. It looks like he either tore it completely or he just has a really bad cramp.
Yo, them really bad cramps be worse than the actual tears.
Nah, I think he tore it. He might be done.
I hope not.
He might be done.
It's
non-contact.
Oh, shit. Achilles? We talking Achilles?
Well, you say that usually right before the Achilles goes, it's usually the calf. The calf goes before the Achilles.
Yeah, but they might have to. Hopefully, they'll have to do some restructure work. But that's
maybe it's just a cramp. He's shooting the free throw.
Yikes.
But Kobe shot the free throw, so who knows?
Yeah, but we knew he tore his shit. You knew Kobe tore his shit as soon as he fell. But anyway, Kyler Murray's still.
Yeah, he looks all right. He's walking.
Kyler Murray's still open to playing baseball. touchdown and turnover.
Whatever.
He was a top 10 pick.
Don't get me wrong, but it's like
let's not. You can't snore on that.
I think baseball players play way too many games to be able to play another pro sport.
Bro, Kyler Murray is not playing baseball as long as he can play football.
I feel like he's saying that for advertising dollars.
Exactly. He would have already did that, bro. If he wanted to play baseball, he would be playing baseball.
They got Ron. They probably have
he wants to play football, and he's going to play football until he can't play football anymore. And then at that point, I'll take his baseball comeback seriously. Until then, it's just endorsement hype.
Right. Russell Wilson denies wanting a trade.
Yeah, he came out and said he never wanted
He said things got blown out of proportion, which, I mean, I could see.
But you didn't come out and stop it.
Honestly, like maybe he's just like, maybe I could play for another team.
I think it's like they had
to bring DK with me.
They had somebody on.
Hell no! I think that's why he wanted to stay.
They had somebody on the Freddie and Fitz show this week, and they were talking about the Aaron Rodgers situation. And it's like, okay, Aaron Rodgers, he's fucking pissed off
at the GM.
We know that, but publicly and directly to Green Bay, he has not requested a trade yet to them, right? So it's kind of a similar situation to where it's like, Russ, we know you're pissed off, and it's more of him putting them on notice, like, hey, guys, don't fuck up anymore. Like, because guess what? I could be out of here.
Easily.
And I think that combined with the environment of, like, because remember at the beginning of the offseason, Adam Schefter said anywhere from over under at 18 quarterbacks being changed next season. So you go into that with that environment of like, hey, there's more than half of the league who could potentially change quarterbacks, and it just creates a scenario where Russell Wilson looks at his team and says, hey, don't you guys think about trading me because you guys are the problem, not me. Like, you guys need to get me an offensive line and some targets and a defense, but I'm not the problem, so don't try to fucking trade me and devaluize me because I'm not the problem. I don't care if Deshaun and Rodgers are on the market and you're thinking about swapping me for them. That's fine, but don't pretend like I'm the problem because I'm not. You guys are. You only had one quarterback in your whole franchise history.
No, they had a couple.
Who?
Hasselbeck.
That's one. That's the one I was referring to.
And somebody before him.
Meyer?
Not Zorn.
Rick Meyer?
Not Zorn.
Jim Zorn?
Not Jim Zorn. I forget who the other guy was. Whoever the fuck was throwing most of their passes to Steve Largent.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, hey, it is what it is. So let's see what is next. Steelers linebacker Devin Bush said he's 100% from his ACL tear last year, and he could definitely cover Jarvis Landry in the slot. Touchdown or turnover?
I don't know.
Keep in mind he ran a 4.43. Like, he was only like a tenth of a second slower than Devin White.
But he's not Devin White.
Devin White ran like a 4.42.
But he's not Devin White.
Yeah. I think it's a turnover.
No, he was really close to Devin White if you go back and look at the play.
But he's not Devin White.
But he's not.
He might be better in coverage, but he's not.
He's not Devin White. Bro, even you said during the draft he's not Devin White.
I agree. But Bush, slightly better in coverage.
Listen, man. No slight to Bush. He had a good rookie year, but I'll just say this. The gap between him and Devin White was always huge. The reason why Bush went so high was because the gap between him and everyone else was just as high, if not higher. So it was like
1A, 1B?
1A, 1B, but there was a big gap between 1A and 1B. I'll put it to you like that.
All right. Well, I mean,
because wasn't that even Edmonds' draft? Edmonds was supposed to be the 1B.
Nah, Edmonds I think was a year before.
No, I think they're the same year.
No,
Edmonds and White.
No, Roquan and Edmonds.
Oh yeah, you're right. Roquan and Edmonds.
Year in the
Yeah,
Raiders.
you're right.
Missed out on because Rosen went the year Edmonds went.
Yeah, you're right.
And yeah, the Raiders passed on Devin White and Devin Bush. If they would have took Devin Bush first over Devin White, I wouldn't have been as mad. But they didn't take either. And now, yeah. Like, that's crazy. And for a linebacker with 4.4 speed to say I could cover an elite slot receiver like Jarvis Landry, that's a lot to back up. It's a lot to say. But anyway,
let's get to the rants.
Rant time.
All right. Well,
wait, hold up. Did you get a new haircut, or are you just not wearing a hat?
I got a new haircut.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I got a fresh haircut.
Hence why I played that Rick Ross drop.
I noticed.
Thank you. Fresh new haircut from new place.
Not Supercuts?
No, not even Floyd's.
Oh, okay.
It's like Manley and Sons, I think.
Fam, if you almost fall one more time.
That'll be funny. No, I want to just say one thing that's kind of nerdy. I was talking about before we were at the show. Apple released a new thing. Basically, it's a lossless sound. So basically, I forget what they actually call it, but with MP3s, I always said with my geekiness of engineering audio, with everything you hear through streaming is only through so much information from 1 kilohertz to 4 kilohertz through MP3. So what Apple's doing with their streaming is that they are offering a lossless system. So all that the music just sounds better. Just the overall sound. All these musics, new and old, are just sounding at their fullest potential as far as not only their talent and music, but how it's actually mixed and done. So if you're kind of a music novice,
so you're talking about like when you stream it from Apple, it's better.
So they just released the technology. So basically,
when you upload it, it'll like make it so that it's better
when you're streaming. So what an MP3 is that it condenses a file and then it comes back, but it loses. So it's a lossless.
Yeah.
Or sorry, a lossy. They have released a lossless streaming service. So basically, all that information that's compressed, and then when it's recompressed, and then it's opened up into your files that you're streaming, it doesn't lose any of that information. So some of what it is, the dynamic range of the music is still there. So you still have all the warmth and depth and.
No, I get what you're saying. What I'm asking though is like, is it like all their music that's on Apple Music is like now in that new format, or is it just like
only if
moving forward when you upload things, they're not going to be in that dynamic? They're going to be in a
Apple
more
owns
dynamic range.
Most of the rights to music that's out there. So if you're streaming that music, it should be available. If that music was originally mixed and mastered to have that kind of range.
Yeah.
So, like what's been happening probably the last 10 years or something like that is that now music's being mixed just to be on MP3. So they're kind of their mix and everything is kind of being shitty. But there's still a lot of artists, especially indie artists, that still mix and make their music to the best of their range with their engineers. Like, say, for an example, one of my favorite bands, Tool, when you listen to even their vinyl or CDs, it's much different than listening to MP3. And it was for the longest time why Tool would not release their music to Apple, because it just kind of, I wouldn't say destroyed, but it did take away a lot of what Tool is in their music, as far as their constant changing of everything in as far as their music. So when you listen to them on MP3, it just did no justice. So now, with this Apple Music, if the Tool's on there, they have a weird thing with their contract and music. It would make a world of difference doing that. So especially if you're like me that likes to blast their music loud in their car, it would make a difference in listening. So something I really liked. That's my rant.
All right, man. So I'll just start off by saying, shout out to the Clippers for being 0-2 in the series. Playing sorry as fuck right now. Hopefully they can turn it around. I'll say the one bright thing of me losing my phone this week is that I lost it on Sunday when they won Game 7. So the one bright side was at least the Clippers didn't lose. This week, I heard a lot of Clippers fans pounding their chests, Lakers fans. But honestly, man, I really don't give a fuck about the Lakers. I just want to get to the fucking conference finals at least, if not the championship. That's pretty much where my mind is at. That's it.
Well, week 2 of being Uncle Kenny. First things first, my nephew, aside from having a kung fu grip, can scratch like a motherfucker. Like, kid got some strength and some size on him, and some ferocity. It'll be funny, like, later in life when I'm teaching him how to box, and he thinks he has more hands than me, and I just pull a dirty move and just elbow the shit out of him and sweep the leg. Like, years later. It's like, it'll be one of those situations. He's like, that was dirty. You cheated. I was like, yep. That's how life is sometimes. But nah, love my nephew. He just, again, like one of the most peaceful babies I've ever been around. He only cries when he needs something. And it's so rare. And it's like, he'll clear his throat before he cries. So you kind of get the hint. It's like, damn, baby, all right. That's what's up. But, yeah. Salute to all the restaurant workers, people in the service industry. Don't let people shame you and say, oh, what you do is not a skill. Because last time I checked, people got to eat and somebody has to make your fucking food. So, like, I remember I saw a meme a couple weeks ago and somebody was, like, mad about, like, oh, well, you know, I'm over here, like, a teacher's making this amount, but you're telling me you want people in the service industry to be making $20, $25 an hour? Yeah. I wish I had that music that everybody plays on their TikToks. Like, yeah, asshole. Of companies were getting PPP loans the whole fucking time and keeping their shit afloat, stashing that money, not paying workers. A lot of them weren't getting hazard pay. On top of that, you factor in that, like, people are going to be able to come into restaurants with no mask, where all the people who work there have to wear a mask, and we don't know if you're sickly or not. So you could just be coughing on shit. We might have to fucking hazmat wash our clothes. That's not fair to the people who work in those industries. So yeah, they should get hazard pay for having to deal with the general public after all the shit that's going on. And some companies will pay that hazard pay, which is, you know the right thing to do. In a lot of cases, though, I see when I go to certain places, I see, the people who work there stress the fuck out. Because how business is being done is wrong. And if you're going to treat your employees like shit, well, you can't be mad at what comes next. So, salute to everybody in the service industry. You're literally doing a service and you should be paid for it. And the fact that you could fucking die because of how things are going with COVID, even if you are vaccinated, you can still get sick because some motherfucker wants to cough on you or do some really unhealthy, unsanitary shit. Like, that's not cool at all. So my heart goes out to y'all. Salute. And, yeah, you're not a restaurant worth your salt if you don't have Wi-Fi. That's all I got to say.
Shout out to the homie, man, sending me SoFi pics. Should have been there today. Another life.
All right.
Well,
shout out to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today.
We're out. Shout out to the Good News Sports, your favorite podcast app, X Squad affiliates, full press coverage, and everywhere else you find this podcast.
And heal up soon, Mo. His leg got fucked up. Salute to you, Mo.
Peace.
Peace.
Yo, you listening? Are you tired of the same clout-chasing gatekeepers, the same sports media, podcast, and radio with recycled takes and no context?
That's where Touchdowns Tangents comes in. See, we're different. We give you culturally concise commentary, context for the culture, in-depth NFL analysis. So get ready and prepare yourself